The unfortunate reality is that sometimes terrible events and even tragedies can lead to great artistic statements. There's many examples of this in music. Today we're going to look at a rather obscure one by the great Neil Finn from Crowded House. And we're going to look at what he says is nobody wants to. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to think about it. Everybody wants to pretend it's all okay and just make it go away. But it doesn't work. John Hanley here from Living the Music, where we uncover life lessons hidden in classic songs. This is as I say, it's an obscure one, but I think it still is a classic, and virtually anything by Neil Finn is a classic in my eyes. So this came out shortly after his good friend and former bandmate Paul Hester took his life in 2005. Neil started making a solo album, but he brought Nick Seymour in, the bass player from Crowded House. They were making this album together with a couple other people, and eventually they decided to work together closely again and become a band, and thus this came out as a Crowded House album. So Nobody Wants To is the first track on the album. It's pure Neil Finn, soothing, provocative, evocative. Love it. Could be my favorite track on the album. Broken pieces on the ground. Everyone's tiptoeing around. But then he says later on that if we could open it up, we could work it out, or words to that effect. So maybe this is practical wisdom, and it's one of those things we all already sort of get it, but it's easier said than done, right? Let's use the opportunity of this video to give ourselves permission, or perhaps other loved ones in our lives permission, to talk about whatever needs to be talked about. If there's some conflict, if there's some issue, if there's anger, resentment, whatever's going on, let's be open to talking about it and bringing it out, getting out into the open. And once it's out in the open, it can be dealt with. It may not be easy, it may not be quick, but it can be dealt with effectively. And maybe if we're proactive with those in our lives, we can open it up before it's too late and there isn't any time left to deal with it. So as usual, pretty much now is the best time to deal with these things. They're there to be dealt with. It's not going away. And in many cases, you might have to be the one to bring it out in the open and move it toward a resolution. If you enjoyed this video and the lesson that came with it, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and give us a comment on this video in terms of what comes up for you about this whole subject, and have you heard this song? What do you think of it? What does it mean to you? So stay tuned for much more. We'll see you next time. Take care.